Hello. Hello there, everyone. How are you guys? I hope you are all doing well, and I hope you are ready to have this lesson with me, guys. So before we start with our course and with our session, would you guys please tell me if you can hear me clearly and you can see the screen that is in front of you? Is everything working? Okay. Very good. Okay. Very happy to hear that. So, welcome everyone. Like I said, good afternoon to you. I hope you are all doing well. So, as you have seen in the first page, today we'll be talking about the first module for 9th grade students. And we will be dealing with family life or talking about family life in general. Okay, so the first thing we will be starting with is house chores or family responsibilities, let's say, and what are the different chores that we can do or we are able to do around the house, maybe with the help of our parents, our siblings. So different things that we do around the house. So when we say the word chores, what we mean by that, we can either mean tasks, we can mean jobs that we do around the house, so things that we do as a family, okay? So if we take a look at these pictures, who can tell me, that is, if you take a look at the first picture, what do you see? What is this task? Can anyone say? Yes, so very good. In the first picture, we have a couple here, husband and wife, for instance, or a couple, and they are indeed cooking. Very good. So this chore we're talking about here is actually cooking. If we take a look at the second picture now, who can tell me what is or what do we have in the second picture? Yes, very good. So in the second picture, we have a woman who is actually doing the laundry. So we can say, or many people might say washing the clothes, but it is much better to say doing the laundry, okay? Yes, so doing a laundry mean to wash your clothes. Yes, very good. Okay, so in the next picture, what do we have? We have a little boy in the garden and he's planting some flowers. He is decorating, taking care of the garden. So what is he doing, or what do we call this chore, let's say? Yes, so we call it gardening. Okay, we can either say it is gardening, or if we want to be, let's say, more specific to what exactly he is doing in the picture, so we can say he is planting some flowers. Okay, so he is planting flowers here. Okay, now if we take a look at picture number 4, what do we have in picture number 4 right here? So, yes, very good, Zahra, it is. So very good, Zahra, that is correct. So we can say bed making or making the bed. Yes, well done. So in this picture, we have a whole family that is making the bed, okay? So this chore is called making the beds. Very good. Well done. Okay, moving on now to the next page, let's see, we still have some more chores to talk about. So if we take a look now at the first picture, what are these boy or this boy and this girl doing? What are these children doing here? Who can tell me? Yes, very good. They are indeed taking out the garbage or taking out the trash, that is. So we can say they are taking out the trash. Okay, very good. Now, if we take a look at the next picture, and more specifically, we take a look at what is this boy holding in his hand? What is this machine he is using, that is? So if we take a look at this machine right here, it is actually used, or it is actually called, or there are two names actually we can use. We can either call it a Hoover, or we can call it a vacuum cleaner. Okay, so this machine where we use to clean the dust around the house, it is called a vacuum cleaner or a Hoover. Now, if the machine is called a vacuum cleaner or a Hoover, what do you guys think this task or this chore is called? Yes, very good. So it is actually either called hoovering, the same as the name of the machine. So it's either called hoovering, or very good, Irish, it can also be called vacuuming. Yes. So it can be called hoovering or vacuuming. Very good. Well done. Now, if we take a look at the next picture, picture number 3 here. So we have a little boy holding a pot, let's say, of milk. And yes, that is correct. Zahra, you're very good in using the verb to feed. That's very good. So he is indeed actually feeding. And we are not talking generally, or we're not talking about animals in general, but we're more specifically talking about animals that live in the house. Okay, so here we're talking about pets. And if we want to be more specific, of course, we can say a cat or feeding the cat. Very good. So we can say feeding the pets in general, if they have maybe a cat, a dog, a turtle, a bird. So they can have maybe a lot of pets. So we can say this task is feeding the pets, or if they only have a cat, let's say at home, we can say he is feeding the cat, or this task or this job is to feed the cat. Okay, now let me make it clear if anyone does not know what this means. So the word to feed, or the verb more specifically to feed, actually means to give food to someone. Okay, we can use this with pets, or we can use this with babies. Okay, so to give food to someone, that means to feed someone. Okay, very good. Next one, or picture number 4 that we have here. Yes, very good, Lina. So that is indeed called dusting. What she is doing in this picture is she is cleaning the dust. So this is indeed, or this task or this chore is called dusting. Very good. Okay, so now that we talked a little bit about these tasks, these chores that we do at home. Let's move on to talk some more, or let me see how do we make these sentences or these words, expressions, to talk more about chores at home, okay? Or family in general. So if we take a look here, first of all, the first thing we need to do, of course, is to read the question we have. So if we take a look here, we have match the expressions from column A to the ones from column B. Okay, so what are we required to do? We are required to match the expression from here to the expression here to make a full, meaningful expression. Okay, so if we take a look at the first one, we have to cook. Now, which one of the words or the expressions in column B can we use with to cook? Yes, very good, Isra. Yes, so it is indeed to cook the meals, or the first one is actually to cook the meals. Very good. What about number 2 now? We have to make. Let's remove the one we did, of course. So what should we do with number 2? To make? Yes. Very good, Zahra. It is indeed to make the beds. Very good. So we say not to get the beds ready or something like that, but no, we say to make the beds. Yes, very good. So indeed, number 2 goes with C, to make the beds. Let's remove it again. So what about number 3 now? To look after. What would we use with to look after? You can tell me what is the best one in column B, of course, that we can use to, yes, very good, Erij. Yes, good job. So it is indeed to look after the children. Where is it? It is with B, to look after the children, because to look after something, let's write it here so you guys would know. To look after something or someone, it means to take care of someone or something. Okay, so the answer would be to look after the children. Very good, Islam, as well. Good job. Okay, so here we have to look after the children. Okay, let's take a look now at the fourth one, number 4. So we have to wash. What would we be washing here? Yes, good job, Aya. So to wash can actually be used or must be used with the dishes. So it is used with H here. So it is to wash the dishes. Very good. Good job. Next we have number 5, and important. Now, who can tell me what could we use this with? Yes, very good, Uns. Well done. Erij as well. So we would say an important role or an important part that someone plays, for example. An important role. Very good. So let's remove it again. And next we have number 6, an exhausted. What would we use with an exhausted? Yes, good job, Ishraq. So we would use indeed, or we would say an exhausted father, since the word exhausted means very tired, and we would probably use it to describe a person, okay? So we would be talking here about the father who is very tired, who is exhausted. Very good. Next we have family. Now, which one could we match with family? Yes, very good, Aya and Zahra. So we have family life here. Very good. So we used father. Now we have family life, which makes a meaningful expression. And the last one, of course, we have house. And what would we be matching this with? Of course, we have been talking about this since the beginning of the lesson. So yes, very good. Well done, Uns. It is indeed, or we're talking indeed, about house chores. Very good. Okay, well done. Good job, Aya, as well. Very good. So in the next part now, we are going to move on to talk a little bit about family relationships. Let's say family members, who are the different members in a certain family, and what are the different family relationships that we can talk about, okay? So here we have a discussion between Joanna and Sam, and what we will do is we will choose every time. So the question, of course, says, circle the right option. So every time we will choose the right option in the two options that we have in front of us, in the two options that we have, okay? So let's take a look now at this discussion or this conversation. Here we have Joanna starts the conversation, of course, and she says, do you have any? Now, if we take a look at the response, we have, yes, I have a younger brother. Yes, so it would not make sense to ask, do you have any parents? Of course, it would say, do we have, or she would say, do you have any siblings? Okay, since here we are talking about brothers and sisters, which is exactly what the word siblings mean. So let me write it. So the word siblings actually means brothers and sisters in general. So if you say my sibling, you do not really specify if it is a girl, if it is a boy. So it is brothers and siblings. Brothers and sisters in general, okay? Yes, let's go back now, or let's continue with Sam's utterance. So we have, yes, I have a younger brother. And then we have about you. Yes, very good, Ayub and Isra. So we have, what about you? Very good. So of course, when we ask someone and you, or we ask them about themselves after we answer a question, we say, what about you? Very good. Next, Joanna said, I have quite a big family with 2 and 2 sisters. So is it 2 brother or 2 brothers? If we're using the plural here, of course. Yes, very good. Well done, all of you. It is indeed 2 brothers, since we are, of course, talking about plural here. Very good. Next, we have Sam, and Sam says, whoa, lucky you are. I wish I had a sister too. And Joanna answered, yes, my sisters are very... Now, is it my sisters are very nice or nice? So both are true words or correct words, but which one fits this situation? Yes, very good. Mu'min Aya as well. Well done, Salem. Good job to all of you. So it is indeed nice with an I, not an IE. Okay, because this means she is the daughter of your brother or she is the daughter of your sister, which does not make sense in this situation. Okay, so yes, my sisters are very nice. They are kind and smart. I feel lucky to be their brother. Okay, so same answers. What a nice thing to say. The last time we met, I remember you saying that you were going to visit your. So, did you visit him? Yes, very good indeed. So, yes, very good. It is actually, did you visit, or you said that you were going to visit your grandfather. So, did you visit him? Let's continue with the conversation, of course. So Joanna answered, yep, my grandpa must be in his late 80s, but he is very active. Sam says, whoa, that's awesome. What about your grandmom? And what do we have here? Joanna responding, she's a very sprightly woman too. And what if we're talking about her grandmother? Is she young or is she old? What would we say here? Yes, very good. Ayub, Lina, very good, everyone. So it is indeed, she is a very sprightly old woman. In fact, my grandparents from my mother's side are pretty, and we have health or healthy and active. So we have health or healthy. We have here either, let's say, here we have a noun, and here we have an adjective. Which one would fit in this situation? If we have are pretty and active. So if we have here an adjective, so we probably need to match it or to parallelize it, to parallelize it with an adjective as well. So yes, very good. They are, or my grandparents from my mother's side are pretty healthy and active. Very good. Now, what are we asking about? We have where's and when's your younger brother these days. And of course, if we want to know the right answer, we have to look at what Sam answers. So here we have, well, John got admitted to the medical college in New York. So would we be answering when or where's, or when's or where's? Yes, very good, everyone. It is indeed, where's your younger brother at, or where is your younger brother these days? Okay, so Sam answers, well, John got admitted to the medical college in New York. He is going to be, so would we say he is going to be a doctor or an doctor? How would we make the difference here? Yes, how would we differentiate between using a and an? Yes, so we would use a because the word doctor actually starts with a consonant. Very good. So we only use n if the first letter of the word after it is a vowel. But since it starts with a consonant, so it is actually, he's going to be a doctor. Very good. Next we have Joanna answering, really? You must be so of him. So is it you must be so proud or you must be so proud? What do you guys think? Is it the noun or the adjective here? Yes. Very good. Just be careful, Islam. Do not write proud with an E at the end. Yes. So very good, everyone. It is indeed. You must be so proud of him. Very good. So next we have Sam saying, yeah, I am. My dad was a carpenter and I got into the same, and we have either profession or professional. So if we have, and I got into the same what here? What do you guys think is the right one? Yes, very good, Zahra. It is indeed, I got into the same profession. But little Johnny's always studied hard. He's going to bring credit to the family name. Very good. Let's continue now with the rest of the conversation. And here we have Johnny that says, so happy for you, Sam. Oh, by the way, I met Samantha, and then we have either on or at the party last night. Okay, so do we say on the party or at the party? What would we say? Aya, the word, where is it? Sorry. Here we go. The word carpenter here is a person who works with wood. Okay, it's the person who makes a door, for example, a window, a bed. So it's the person who works with wood. Okay. Yes. So as most of you have said, I can see some of you are making mistakes, but as most of you have said, it is actually at the party. So when we're talking about a party, we say at the party. If there is a specific place, like for example, we're talking about meeting someone at a bank or at the school or at the library. So we say at and not on, okay? We use on actually when we talk about time and more specifically when we talk about days. Okay, so if we say, for example, if we talk, for example, about Monday or Saturday or whatever, we say, let's meet on Monday, or how about we meet on Saturday? Okay, but if we're talking about a certain place or something like that, we say at the party, at the library. Okay, so now we have, or we're asking, is your brother or sister? So is he or she your brother or sister? But if we take a look at the answer, what do we have? We have right here, no, she isn't my sister. Yes, so indeed, the question would be, is she, very good, your sister? Okay, so is she your sister? And Sam says, Samantha, no, she isn't my sister. She is Frank's daughter. Frank is my brother, so Samantha is, if Frank is his brother and Samantha is Frank's daughter, what would make Samantha here? Would she be a nephew or a niece? Yes, very good, Muhammad Munib. It would be indeed his niece. Samantha is my niece. Very good. Yes. So, like we agreed, or like we said, a niece is the daughter of your brother or your sister. Let's write it down so we wouldn't forget it. So, a niece is the daughter of a brother or a sister, whereas here a nephew is the son of a brother or a sister. Okay, so we have the nephew is the son of a brother and sister, or the niece is the daughter of the brother or sister. Okay, let's take a look now at the next utterance. Here Joanna says, but she's not very young. And Sam answers, yeah, my dad married my mom when he was in his 40s. Frank was already 18 then. He is my either stepbrother or stepsister, actually. So which one would work here, or which one is true with Frank, or if we're talking about Frank? Yes, very good, Mu'min. So it is indeed, or the right question, or the correct question is indeed, he is my step brother. Okay. So next we have, whoa, families are either weirdo or weird, aren't they? A woman older than you is your niece. So which one is it? Families are weirdo or are weird? Yes, which one do you think fits the situation here? Yes, very good. So the adjective we can use to describe the families is actually weird. Very good. Okay, so let's read it again. We have, whoa, families are weird, aren't they? A woman older than you is your niece. And Sam says, well, that's how families are, Joanna. Oh, the word step. Yes, exactly. Let me just answer that. So the word stepbrother means that it is only your brother by marriage. That is, you don't share blood. So a stepbrother is, let's say, for example, your father got divorced and married someone new, and his new wife already has a son. So that would be your stepbrother, okay? And if your father and his new wife got a baby, so you have a new brother that you only share your father with, that would be a half brother. So is that clear, or should I explain it a little bit more? Yes? Okay, as for the word weird, it means it is something strange. Okay, so weird here means something strange, something bizarre, something a little bit like we would say not normal. Okay, so we could say strange. Okay, very good. So I hope everything is clear so far. Yes, I saw someone say this. The word weirdo is actually used to talk about a person. Okay, so we say weirdo to talk about a person. We say he is a weirdo, for example. And the word weird is used to describe other things, like, for example, here, families are weird. Okay? Yes, tell me, Isra, what is not clear? Safe as well. Which part is not clear exactly so I can explain it a little bit more? Yes? Okay, I'll be waiting for your questions. So if you have any question or if there's something that you feel you did not fully understand, you can just ask me while I move on to the next part or the next exercise that we have, okay? So we talked about so far about some family chores, responsibilities, family relationships. Now, oh, okay. So actually the word, where is it exactly? I think it's in the second page. Yes, the word admitted right here. So he got admitted to the medical college. It means he got accepted, okay? He got accepted. Okay, very good. Let's go back to our next exercise. Now here, it is a little bit complicated, but we have to just stay focused so we can know like, or we can do it properly and we wouldn't have any problems with it, okay? So let's see what we have here. So we have three things that we are going to do. We are going to fill in the blanks with the words that we have in this list right here. We are going to choose the right option whenever we are faced with these options in blue. And we are going to put the words between parentheses, like these words here. We are going to put them in the right tense or form. Okay? So that's what we will be doing. Now, let's take a look, or let's start reading this paragraph and you guys tell me what we should do each time. Okay, so this paragraph, or let's read the words first. It's better. So we have rock, tired, responsibilities, social, and upbringing. Okay, so let's start. And if there is something that is not clear, you can tell me, okay? So here we have, my name is John Smith. My wife, Sandra, has a full-time job. I have a part-time one. So we have because, whereas, or besides. Which one do you guys think it should be used here? Which one should we use? We have my wife, Sandra, has a full-time job. I have a part-time one. Yes, very good, Mu'min. I think the only one who got it correctly. It is indeed whereas. So my wife Sandra has a full-time job, whereas I have a part-time one. So here, the reason we used whereas and not besides, it's because there is a little bit of a contrast between my wife having a full-time job and I have a part-time one. Okay, so there is a little bit of contrast. That's why we do not use besides, but we rather use whereas. Okay? And we cannot use because, of course, because here it does not make any sense. Okay? I saw someone asking, what does the word whereas mean? So if we're using, or if we're talking about it in Arabic, or if we were to say the word in Arabic, whereas means بينما. Okay? So my wife has a full-time job, بينما I have a part-time one. Okay, which shows, like I said, a little bit of a contrast. Okay? Now, next we have our first child named Sebastian. When we have here our twin daughters, life became difficult than before. So what should we do here? Yes, when we had, very good, because they had their children or their twin daughters in the past, of course, now they already have them. And then we have life became difficult, and then here we have than before. So what would we be using then here to express? Yes, who can tell me? Difficult than before, and take a look at the fact that it is then written with A. Okay? So what would we use here? Yes. Very good, Buthaina. It is indeed more difficult. So when we had our twin daughters, yes, very good, Lina. We're using the comparative form here since we have then. So we're using the comparative form and we're talking about life before the twins and life after having the twins, okay? So life became more difficult than before. Our life was almost ruined. Now here, let's take a look at the words. And these words in green, of course. Our life. Here we have a noun. And what we need is an adjective to describe what kind of life that was almost destroyed. So what would we use here? Yes, very good, Ishraq. It is indeed our social life. So our social life was almost ruined. Yes, very good, Lina. So let me see. I saw someone asking about the difference between then with an A and then with an E. So here, this then is used as a linker, and it shows like the let's say the evolution of certain events. So this happened, and then this happened, and then that happened. So there is a certain progression, let's say, of events or things happening after each other. Whereas this, with an A, is always used with the comparative form. Okay, so if we're comparing between things, and we are going to see this a little bit more later on, we are going to talk about the comparative form and the superlative form. So this then, with an A, is used to talk about the comparative, is used to describe between two things. Okay, very good. Let's see now. Next, what do we have? We have, yes, Aya, you said, what does the word ruined means? So the word ruined means destroyed, or like had a lot of damage done to it. It was damaged, it was destroyed, okay? So next we have, I decided to help my family be happy, and what would we use here? We have be happy, and we have, of course, an adjective, and what? We need another adjective. Yes, very good, which is organized. Yes, very good. So we have here organized. I decided to help my family be happy and organized. Sandra was always what? Let's say here we already used social, okay? Yes, very good. She was always, well done, Mulka. She was always tired. After a long day of work, but I wasn't. So I looked my children. So here we talked about this earlier. We said that if we are talking about children and we want to say to take care of them, we would say to look, yes, very good, Zahra, Mulka as well. We say, or we would say to look after them. So I looked after my children. Yes, very good. So let me explain the difference between to look after and to look for, because I see some of you are confusing this. So to look for something, that means to search for something. Let's write it down just so you guys remember it. So to look for means to search, to try and find something. Something is lost, you're searching for it, okay? Whereas to look after means to take care of someone or something. Okay? Yes, to take care of someone. Very good. So, yes, let's move on to the next part now. So, I looked after my children. When they were babies, I used to them in my arms, and once they are asleep, I put them in their beds. I used to what? What do you think the right verb here? Of course, it is a verb, but what do you think it is? I used to them in my arms, and once they are asleep, I put them in their beds. Yes. So some of you are saying this correctly, like Mulka, like Aya, like Manel. So we would use indeed the verb to rock. Now, some of you might confuse this with a rock, that is the noun, but to rock someone means to hold someone in your arms, and very good, Isra, and to swing them, to move them slowly in your hands or in your arms until they fall asleep. So that's what's called to rock someone or rocking someone or to rock a baby. Yes, that is to swing the baby or the child until they fall asleep. Very good. So next we have, I used to rock them in my arms, and once they are asleep, I put them in their beds. Yes, very good, Muhammad Munib, to move them gently. Yes, that is correct. I had to get up many times during the night to give them their milk bottles. Helping with the of my kids, we have a noun here with the of my kids was really exhausting. What do you think the right noun here that we should use? Yes, very good. Mulka, well done. It is indeed with the upbringing. So helping with the upbringing, that means the taking care, raising my children, raising my kids. So the upbringing, that is from being children to being grown-ups or taking care of them. So we have here helping with the upbringing of my kids was really exhausting, but, and we have enjoy between parentheses. So what would we use here? It was really exhausting. So we have here an adjective, but what? What is the adjective from enjoy? Not enjoying, actually. Yes, the verb to upbring is the same as the verb to raise. Yes, very good, Khiria. It is indeed, or the adjective from enjoy is indeed enjoyable. Yes, so the upbringing or helping with the upbringing of my kids was really exhausting but enjoyable. Sandra and I found more time to go out and visit relatives. Sharing makes your life, and I thought this to my children too. Sorry, I taught this to my children too. So what would we say here? Sharing makes your life, it makes your life what? Yes, very good. Uns and Wafa and Lina, it makes your life easier. Now, even though we don't have then here, but we are indeed comparing life before sharing to life after sharing responsibilities and certain chores. Okay, so yes, very good. It does indeed make your life, or sharing makes your life easier. And I thought, or sorry, I taught this to my children. The reason I keep misreading it, it's because it is written incorrectly. Let me correct this. There we go. And I taught this to my children too. Now, the 5 of us share. What do we share at home? Yes, very good. We share the responsibilities, okay? Now, the 5 of us share responsibilities at home. We enjoy more free time than other families. I think we are, and then we have the happy family ever. If we have the, what are we supposed to do, or what are we supposed to use? How should we change the adjective happy? Yes, very good. Well done. So it is indeed, or we're using indeed the superlative form here. So I think we are the happiest family ever. Very good. Good job. Well done, everyone. Now, before we move on to the next part, is there something that is not clear about this paragraph? Is there something that you did not understand? Maybe a word that was a little bit complex that you did not fully understand? So, do you guys have any questions before we move on? Yes? Is it the word to rock, Zahra? So let me explain it a little bit more. So to rock someone is to hold someone, to hold a baby, for example, to hold a baby in your arms or in your hands and start moving your body very gently to the sides until that baby falls asleep. Okay? So that's what it means to rock someone. Now, Aya, easy is the adjective. Easier is an adjective in the comparative form. So it is the comparative form of the adjective easy. We are going to talk a little bit more about the comparative and the superlative very soon. So we just have a text to deal with, and then we will move on to the comparative and the superlative, and we'll talk about them a little more, okay? Now, the word upbringing, it means raising. It means to raise someone until they grow up, okay? So that's what upbringing means, okay? Very good. Let's take a look at the next part now. So we talked a little bit more about, or we talked a little bit about family relationships, about family responsibilities, which are, I believe, the first two lessons of Module 1. Now we will move on a little bit more to talk about generation gap. Okay? And generation gap means the different or the differences between generations, and the differences, of course, between parents and their children, and etc. So I wanted to start this part with some questions. So feel free to answer them. Feel free to say anything you want. If one of the participants in Zoom would like to participate or express or answer one of these questions, feel free to answer them. And if you would like to write your answers and I would read them, that's also fine. Okay, so here we have 5 questions talking about generation gap and the difference between like kids and their parents, and the difference in opinions, etc. So here we have, do you get on well with your parents? As the first question. Do you get on well with your parents? Does that mean, so to get on well with someone, it means to have a good relationship, to see eye to eye, to understand each other. That's what it means to get on well with someone. Number 2, we have, do your parents, do they like your friends? Number 3, we have, are your parents understanding or conservatives? Do they like to talk about certain things, understand your point of view? What kind of relationship is it? Or are they conservative? So when we say conservatives, we mean that they are more strict, they are more strict with the rules around the house, etc. Yes, to get on well, we can also, very good, Ayub, we can see eye to eye. That is to agree on certain things. So to get on well, or to see eye to eye, or to agree. So they all fall under the same umbrella, let's say. Okay, number 4 we have, are they happy with your performance at school? With your results, with your performance? How do your parents feel about that? Okay, and the last question, do they give you enough freedom and pocket money? So what is your opinion on this matter? Do you think your parents give you enough freedom, enough pocket money? What do you guys think? Yes, who would like to answer one of these questions? You can just tell me which question you would like to answer, and then give me your response or your answer, okay? Yes, so if we were to talk about the relationship that you have with your parents, so what would you, or how would you describe that? Yes, go ahead, Ayub. What would you like to say about the first question? Do you get on well with your parents? Do you have a good relationship? Can you talk about different topics and different things? What do you, how would you describe it? Yes, Muhammad Munib, I have strong relationship with my parents. Isra, yes, I get on well with my parents because they are understanding. Very good. So to perform or performance at school means your results at school. How are you doing? Your marks, your grades, okay? So we're talking about your results in general. Yes, so Ans says, yeah, I have a good relationship with my parents. Very good. So yes, as I can see, most of you do. Very good. I'm happy to hear that. So what about question number 2? Do your parents have a good relationship with your friends? Lena says, I really get on well with my parents. It's a close relationship based on love and harmony. Very good. Yes, so they like them because they are friendly. Very good. Very good. It's very important to have, or for your parents to have a good relationship or a trusting relationships with your friends, because you spend a lot of time with your friends, and if they would not like them, they would not approve of that. So it's very important that your parents like your friends. Very good. Good job. Well done. Aya says, I get on well with my parents and I love them. Of course, we're talking about 2. Yes, number 4, question number 4, are they happy? My parents are very happy and proud of my performance at school. Very happy to hear that, Isra. Very good. Good. They are helpful, so your friends are helpful. Very good. And what about number 5 now? Do your parents give you enough freedom and pocket money? Let's talk about the 2 here. When we say freedom, so you have enough freedom, let's say, for example, to do certain things that you like, or enough pocket money to buy certain things that you want to buy, or to like spend it in a certain way, or maybe save it if you want. So what would you say about the topic? Sometimes, okay. My parents like my friends very much and they get on well with them. Very good. Question number 3. My parents are understanding and I lean on my parents for wisdom. Very nice. Yes, they give me when I need to. So when I need it, it would be better to say they give me pocket money when I need it, or they give me enough freedom and pocket money whenever it is needed. Okay, yes, very good. So very interesting. Okay, they are very happy and proud because I am smart. Besides, they give me money and freedom. Very good. They always want me to have better marks because they think that I am capable of it. Very good. Very interesting. So they are motivating you and keeping you excited and doing your best to improve yourself, which is a good thing, which is one of the best things that parents can do. Very good. Okay, good job, everyone. Well done. Let's take a look now or move on to the next page where we are going to talk about or to deal with. They are super supportive and helpful and they give me what I want. Very good. So, like I said, in the next page, we have a reading comprehension. So we have a text that we are going to read, and then we have a few questions that we are going to answer, like concerning this text or about this text, okay? So let's read this text together, and then we'll move on to the answers. So here we have my parents, still talking, of course, about generation gap. So we have my parents had a very different upbringing to what I have today. It's like we grow up in parallel universes. They were from Ireland and grew up in secure homes in the middle of the countryside with no care in the world. I live in inner city Birmingham and with peer pressure, school stress, and lots of other things to deal with. I think that I have a much tougher life than they had. Times have definitely changed. We have a lot of responsibility as teenagers, and we have to act like adults. It depends on where you have grown up and who you hang around with. I think that a lot of teenagers are discriminated against wrongly by adults. A few days ago, I was on my way home in a rush because I was late. It was very dark and I was running. I ran past a middle-aged woman, and as I went past, I brushed her shoulder. She let out a scream and grabbed a tight hold of her handbag. I found this really funny. She thought I was going to mug her. Most teenagers have part-time jobs, which creates responsibilities and a premature need to behave in an adult way. I've been working since I was 13. I look older than I am and can lie about my age, but most teens start at around 15. We need to have a certain level of trust put in us. We need to feel wanted and important and not constantly targeted and victimized by the media for stop after all. If the media is constantly attacking teens and branding them as thugs, then this or that is the way we will act. Okay, so let's take a look at the text again and try to see if there are some difficult expressions, if there are things that we did not understand. Let's go ahead and explain them, okay? So what do we have here? We have a girl, the name is Kate. Kate Brown is telling us about her family and the difference that she thinks or she sees between her family and her, and the difference in upbringing, of course. So she says that there is a different, or that her parents had different upbringing than hers, that they had a very, let's say, relaxed, very safe life while they were growing up, whereas she is dealing with a lot of peer pressure, a lot of school stress, a lot of other things to deal with, and she believes that she thinks, she thinks that she had, or that she has a tougher life than her parents. What does it mean, tougher? It means more difficult life, okay? Tough and difficult have the same meaning. So tougher means more difficult. So she believes that she has a tougher life than they had. So she says that teenagers now actually have a lot of responsibilities, and they are most of the times discriminated against. So discriminated against means they are shown in a way that is wrong. Okay, they are portrayed in a way that is not true and that is discriminated against wrongly by adults. Okay, so adults always think of teenagers as misbehaving, as people who do not respect the rules, where she says it is not correct. It is not true. Okay? Yes, to say parallel universes. So the word parallel means that they do not meet, like it's the same in math. They are parallel, so they do not meet. Now, a universe is the whole universe where we live. Now, what she says, or what she means by this, is as if her and her parents lived in totally different universes that do not meet, that cannot be compared, and do not have any similarities. Okay? So that's what she means when she says it's like we grow up in parallel universes. Okay? So, yes, this is the first part. Let's move on to the second part now. So the way she's talking a little bit more about the fact that she says they are being discriminated against by adults, she keeps saying how a few days ago she was running home, and what happened was it was dark and she was running, and while she was running home, she simply she went or she passed a middle-aged woman, and she simply brushed her shoulder. So when she says, I brushed her shoulder, that means simply I touched her shoulder, okay? So while she was running past her, she simply touched her shoulder. And what happened, or what did the woman do? She let out a scream, she screamed, she yelled, and grabbed a tight hold of her handbag. She held her handbag in her hand. I found this really funny. Why did she find it funny? She's being sarcastic here. I found this really funny. She thought I was going to mug her. So the woman screamed because she was afraid that the teenager, that Kate, was going to mug her or to steal from her. Most teenagers, she says, or she talks about how teenagers actually have jobs, mostly part-time jobs, and they are and these jobs themselves actually create a lot of responsibilities. They create a need for teenagers to behave in an adult way. So all these misjudging and all of these ideas that adults have of teenagers, they need to get rid of them, because she says that most teenagers start work around 15 and they have a lot of responsibilities. So they do not have they do not, or they should not be mistreated or judged in a wrong way by adults. Okay, so she keeps saying that they need a certain level of trust putting them, that they need to feel important and not constantly targeted, as she said, or victimized by the media. So what does that mean? It means that the media is targeting them, is seeing them as a target or as a victim, or she says that they are being victimized. So the media is making them look like victims. So she says that this needs to stop, because if the media keeps attacking them, that is the way they will act. So the media needs to stop this behavior, or else that will be the way that they will act. To mug, like I said, Ghazlain, is to steal. To mug someone is to steal from someone. Okay, so she was worried, she was afraid that Kate was going to steal her handbag. Okay, very good. Now that we talked about the text, let's take a look at the questions for this text. So for the first question we have is, are these statements true or false? And of course we have justify your answer. So it is not enough to simply say true or false, but we have to justify our answers. Okay? So the first sentence we have, or the first statement we have, Kate thinks that her life is much easier than that of her parents. Okay? So Kate thinks that her life is much easier than that of her parents. Now, is this true or is this false according to the text? Who can tell me if this is true or false? Yes, very good. Who is it? Isra. That is indeed false. And if we go back and take a look at the beginning of the text, what is the justification? Where can we find the sentence where we know this is false? So we have, yes, in the very first paragraph, very good. She said, I think that I have a much tougher life than they had. Very good. So that's our justification for the first sentence or the first statement. So we would say right here, I think that I have a much tougher life like we agreed or like we talked about. The word tougher means more difficult. Okay, so I had a tougher life than, sorry, I had a much tougher life than they had. Now, if we take a look at the second statement, we have Kate believes that teens will behave accordingly to the way the media describes them. Now, is this true or false in your opinions? She believes that the teens will behave accordingly to the way the media describes them. Yes, very good indeed. It is actually true, or this is actually true. And if we take a look at the second part of the text, what do we have right here? We have, if the media is constantly attacking teens and branding them as thugs, then that is the way we will act. Yes, so she does believe that if the media keeps showing them as thugs, as let's say thieves, etc., so that is the way they will behave. So that is indeed true. Very good. So she says, then that is the way we will behave. Very good. Next, we have complete the following sentences from the text. So we're going to take a look at the text and try to find expressions that can help us to finish these sentences. So we have the first sentence that says, Kate feels her life is difficult because. Now, what are the things that Kate mentions that she says make her life difficult? So if we have, or if we take a look at the first part, when Kate is describing the different things that make her life difficult, she goes on to mention, for example, the peer pressure, the school stress, and a lot of other things to deal with. So these are some of the things that she mentions, which make her life feel difficult. Okay, so Kate feels her life is difficult because, yes, because of peer pressure. Very good. Do you guys know what it means, peer pressure? Then we have school stress. Who can tell me what it means, peer pressure? Yes, so it actually means when like students or friends at school or your peers. So your peers means your the people you go to school with the people that share or are your same age. Okay, so those are your peers. So when your peers are actually forcing you to do some negative things, so that's what is called peer pressure. So maybe your friends are pushing you to miss your classes, they are pushing you, or they are telling you to cheat in your classes. So that's what we call peer pressure. Okay, so because of peer pressure, school stress, and other responsibilities, of course. Next, we have part-time jobs not only create responsibilities in teens, but also. Now, if we take a look at the second part, we have, or when we talked about the jobs that they have, Kate says they create responsibilities in teens and the premature need to behave in an adult way. So when she says a premature need, that means it is a need before its time. It is premature. So the premature need to behave in an adult way. So what are the things, or what would we write here? We would say part-time jobs not only create responsibilities in teens, but also the premature need to behave in an adult way. Okay, very good. Not really, or we do not really mean, if we say peer pressure, we don't really mean bad friends. We just mean, okay, the word peers, let me just explain it or write it down for you. So a peer is someone your age, someone you go to school with, for example, someone in your classes, someone with your same age. So peer pressure, it means the pressure that is put on you by your friends or your peers to do certain negative things, okay? Or certain bad things. So that's called peer pressure. Okay, now the last sentence we have is the middle-aged woman let out a scream when Kate ran past her because she. Now, why did the middle-aged woman scream when Kate brushed her shoulder, like we said in the text? So if we go back here, we have, I found this really funny. And then we have, she thought I was going to mug her. So why did she scream? Because she thought that Kate was going to mug her or to steal her handbag or to steal from her. Okay, so here we would say the middle-aged woman let out a scream when Kate ran past her because she, that is the middle-aged woman, thought that Kate was going to mug her. Okay? Very good. Good job, everyone. Let's take a look now at the next exercise that we have. And here we have my mother. So what are we required to do here? We are required to complete the paragraph with the words that we have or with the 6 words that we have in the box. So we have me, close, born, about, angry, without, proud, and with. So we have my mother has worked for as long as I can remember. So here a little girl is telling us about her mother. So my mother has worked for as long as I can remember. There are times when I really regret that she is so busy, but I am very of her. Now, what would the word here that would fit? It wouldn't be angry, not really. Yes, very good, Uns. I am very proud of her. When I was, my mother was at the beginning of her career. When I was what here? Which word would fit? Yes, very good. When I was born, my mother was at the beginning of her career, and I used to spend days seeing her. I used to spend days without. Very good. Yes, that is correct. I used to spend days without seeing her. Yes. Next we have, my mother and I have been very, and I used to tell her personal things. So my mother and I, if I'm telling her personal things, my mother and I used to be or have always been very what? Yes, very good. My mother and I have always been very close. And I used to tell her personal things. What would we use here? Yes, very good, Aya. And I used to tell her about personal things. I have always thought everyone lived like, but now that I am at secondary school, I realized that there are mothers who don't work at all. Yes, very good, Mu'min. I thought, or I have always thought everyone lived like me. Very good. Well done, Zuhra, as well. But now that I am at secondary school, I realize that there are mothers that don't work at all. Very good. Well done, everyone. Okay, so it seems that we have reached the end of our lesson. So I wanted us to work on the comparative form and the superlative form, but we did not have time for that. So hopefully we will meet some other time and maybe get to work on them or get to work on some other things, but you can always go through or take a look at this, especially for the ones on the platform. You can take a look at this presentation where you have everything that is related to differentiating between short adjectives and long adjectives, and how do we work on the comparative, how do we work on the superlative, and I will actually finish working on this for you guys. I will correct it and give you this presentation so you can know exactly what to do when it comes to the comparative and the superlative, and you will be able to work also on how to talk about equal attributes, etc. So for everyone else who is watching us through Facebook and through the live session, so you can always join us on the platform, so you would be able to access all these live sessions, these different sessions that we provide, different lessons which are very enriching and very helpful. So don't forget to join us for more sessions like this one, and I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and I hope to see you all with us someday. So yes, thank you very much, everyone. Now I will give you some time, so if you have any questions about what we talked about or what we dealt with in this session, feel free to ask me, and I will try to answer your questions, okay? So let me know if you have any questions, and I will happily answer them. Yes. Was everything clear? Was everything we saw today clear? Is it all good? Okay, very good. I'm happy to hear that, actually. Very good. Yes. Now, I'm happy to hear that everything was clear. Thank you all for watching this or participating or attending this lesson. Thank you as well, Aya. It is a pleasure indeed. So thank you all. I hope you have a great evening, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you someday with us in these live sessions as well. Thank you, Malka. I'm happy to hear that, Mu'min. Very good. Thank you. Okay, great. Good job, everyone. Thank you, and have a great evening. Goodbye.